What's up, YouTube? Brett Hoover from Rants here. Alright, so it looks like Dave Chappelle's new special, The Closer, has taken it a step too far when it comes to critics, calling him, anti-trans and anti-gay, and one person even saying he's using white privilege, which in itself just seems ridiculous on his face. Now, this is where I stand on Dave Chappelle. Back when I was in high school, his show was going on. I remember most of the kids laughing at his skits that he did, his Rick James skits especially. But I mean, there was some really controversial skits that he did back then. Now those same people are saying that they're offended by what he's saying now in 2021. So I'll just flat out say it. Those people are hypocrites. They're hypocrites. If you laughed at it in 2004 and you don't in 2021, then you're probably a hypocrite. You can say, "Oh well, my tastes have changed and I know better now," and all of this garbage. But the truth is comedy is meant to be edgy. If you don't like it, it's probably because you're unfunny and you're jealous of the people that are. Comedy was supposed to be edgy. That was the best comics of their time, were the edgy ones, the ones that pushed against the norms of the day, the ones that the left-wing media used to support and as they challenged the status quo in a lot of ways. Now what has happened? Like, what has seriously happened in America today, when the same people that used to say, challenge the status quo, take up for individual freedoms, to be able to say and do what you want, now are the exact same people, 15 years later, that's now saying cancel people. Like, this is crazy. This is the crazy thing that has happened in America today. It's crazy that the same people that thought it was funny in 2004 are now deeply, deeply offended by it in 2021. I just find those people to be hypocrites in a lot of ways. I really, truly do. I want comedy to be edgy. I want people to be able to say what they want, to think what they want, to act like they want. I don't care how egregious I find it, or you find it, or anybody that's watching finds it. As long as it's not breaking laws, then all power to you. Say what you want. Do what you want. Maybe that's the libertarian in me. I don't know, but that's the way I personally feel towards these issues. I'm deeply ashamed of these people that they come out there and we're fighting for the First Amendment while they're trying to cancel people's First Amendment rights. Look, if you'll support the speech of someone that you agree with, then support the speech of someone you don't agree with. It's only fair, it's only equal, and that's the only way society can actually exist. Or at least a fair, democratic society can exist. And if you want a totalitarian society, all means to you. Try to shut down any opposition and to your line of thinking. Just watch people that completely and totally agree with you. Jail anybody who doesn't. If that's your line of thinking, then I just don't really have any use for you. I really, truly don't, for people that feel that way. I think those are the worst types of human beings that don't care about the freedoms of others or even themselves in a lot of ways. And you can find Dave Chappelle funny, or you can not find him funny. You can find his jokes to be beneath you in a lot of ways. And to be fair, some of his jokes are pretty darn juvenile. But that's just, that's people's taste. And I feel like people that enjoy Dave Chappelle, they should get to enjoy his Netflix special. Dave Chappelle shouldn't be canceled for what he says or what he thinks in any form or fashion. And I'm very disappointed in humanity when that they are wanting to cancel him simply because of his jokes. His jokes, not even necessarily his opinions, but his jokes. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's read a little bit into this article. It says, following the release of Dave Chappelle's latest Netflix special, The Closer, the famous comedian is receiving criticism for how he tackled topics of gay rights and race. Too often in The Closer, it just sounds like Chappelle is using white privilege to excuse his own homophobia and transphobia, wrote NPR television critic Eric Diggins. This is exactly why I never listen to NPR, is because of that's just idiocy. And the message Chappelle has for those who have criticized him about transphobic, homophobic, or any other phobic jokes seems to be race trumps all, wrote Diggins. Diggins points to a line where Chappelle joked that if slaves had oil and booty shorts on, we might have been free 100 years sooner, as an example. But lines like that assume that the struggle over oppression is a zero-sum game. That because some gay people have access to white privilege in America, all their concerns about stereotyping and marginalization are hollow and subordinate to what black people face, wrote Diggins. You can just imagine that, you grow up, you want to be a journalist, you want to write for these big name newspapers, and you think that you're going to be writing something really important. And, back in the day, you would be writing on politics or world changing things. Now, a lot of people just want to write about comics and their jokes. Like, that's news today. That's important news that should be, headliners. That's just, it's sick. I mean, that's all it is to it. I mean, in my view, it's just sick. It ignores the fact that there are plenty of non-white gay people who face oppression for both their sexual orientation and their race. He continued in defense of his argument that yes, racial issues in society trump 2SLGBTQQIA plus what? Is that a misspelling? Alright, hey, whatever, man. Issues. Chappelle told a story about how he nearly got into a fight with a gay man who then called the police. He picked up his phone and he called the police, Chappelle told the Detroit crowd. And this thing I'm describing as a major issue that I have with that community. Gay people are minorities until they need to be white again. Look, if you follow like Black Lives Matters and things along those lines, I don't really understand. If you agree with, a lot of what they're saying, that would be something that's that profound. Look, if you believe that white people have better privileges and more privileges in 2021 than black people, then whether they're gay or straight or whatever doesn't really matter, I guess, in that book. So I kind of feel like they're arguing against that in this article, but in any other case they would be arguing for that or saying that was true. That just all white people, it's either all white people or either it's no white people. I don't see how you can have an in-between area in there. I don't see why police would care more about somebody, be called to, a fight or something and be like, oh, that guy's gay. I don't care about doing that. If white privilege is a thing, then they would put the white privilege, I would assume, over being, the person being gay. They had a problem with that. I mean, maybe I'm thinking too much into this. It says in the special, Chappelle said, clearly my problem has always been white people. I've been arguing with the whites my entire career. Deegan's also pointed to an earlier story in the special where Chappelle talks about rapper DaBaby and how comments he made that were perceived as homophobic received more attention than DaBaby shooting and killing a person. Well, now, unfortunately, that's just 2021 society. That's just the news. The news is so full of nonsensical bullcrap that you never really get to see the important issues of the day. Really don't, whether you're on the left or the right. And trust me, I watch the news all the time, and I watch both sides of it. You can watch CNN, you can watch Fox News, and you're not getting the full story with either one of them. You're just not. That's just the honest truth about it. Today, they will fill you full of the most useless stories, and they will just run with it for days and days and days until you absolutely just want to pull your hair out because you're so bored with this topic because it's nothing. And they will go with that, and they will completely ignore, shootings or important political matters of any kind, especially if it goes against the narrative that they're trying to push. It says, anyways, it goes on to state, this idea surfaces when he talks about rapper DaBaby, who was pilloried, I don't know what that word even is, publicly for making homophobic comments during a concert in July. Chappelle jokes that DaBaby, and it goes on to state what he supposedly did. It says, in our country, you can't shoot and kill Chappelle says in the special, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings. Well, look, I mean, look in Chicago. How many African Americans die each day there from gun violence, from shootings? How many times does the media report on that? But yet they're reporting on this because of anti-gay and anti-trans comments. So, I mean, you be the judge on that. I mean, is that correct? At least I would assume, judging by all the articles about Dave Chappelle today, I'm assuming that probably is the case to a certain extent. The media doesn't really cover topics that involve, African Americans being harmed in a lot of ways. They just don't because it's not headline news. They don't want it to be headline news. They don't make it headline news. And you could say, well, it's because the media is racist. And that probably is the case in a lot of ways. But yeah, they will cover this. So maybe he's right about that. Chappelle also took flack for comments on the transgenders community, defending author J.K. Rowling, who trans activists have tried to cancel for being considered a TERF, or a trans exclusionary radical feminist. They've canceled people that are more powerful than me, Chappelle said. Cancel J.K. Rowling, my God. J.K. Rowling wrote all the Harry books by herself. She sold so many books, the Bible worries about her, and they canceled it because she said in an interview, and this isn't exactly what she said, but it's effectively what she said. Gender is a fact. And the trans community, they started calling her in TERF. Then, of course, he goes on to state in this article, or in an article, that he considers himself a TERF as well. Now, as far as the J.K. Rowling thing is concerned, I feel like J.K. Rowling has free speech to say and do whatever she wants, and you have free speech to buy or watch her movies, or buy her books or watch her movies. I mean, that's up to you, and I feel like the free market system can work that part out. I don't think she should necessarily be canceled for her opinions either. I don't think anybody should, whether they're on the left or the right. There's many things I do not agree with J.K. Rowling about. In fact, most things I don't agree with J.K. Rowling about. But I'm not going to go out there and burn my Harry Potter books because of her personal beliefs. Her stories are really amazing in Harry Potter, and I will always be a Harry Potter fan. I don't care what the author does or says. That's just me. But I know a lot of Harry Potter fans actually have had problems with that. I don't think enough for it to actually cancel her. Of course, they're making that new Harry Potter game that everybody's been complaining about that I can't wait to buy. So that's because I'm a Harry Potter fan, But anyways, as far as this Dave Chappelle special goes, I think I pretty much said it. feel like if you laughed at these very same things in 2004, and you don't laugh about it now, kind of a hypocrite. Kind of just going along with what is culturally acceptable now, and just basically trying to stifle free speech. That's the way I look at it. You don't have to watch this Dave Chappelle special. I haven't personally watched it either. Um, but you know what? Dave Chappelle says some things that I'm like, oh man, that's pretty messed up. But I'll still laugh. I'll still laugh. I'll still go, you know what? I disagree with him completely and totally, but you know what? He's a comedian. He has a right to his opinion, and that's that. I mean, that's really just what all it comes down to is really the right of free speech. And you should have that right. And no one should try to take it away from you, and no one should be able to take it away from you. Now I know Netflix is facing they're facing pressure over this, and it would not shock me if they actually caved to it, because Twitter and the media have more power over things like Netflix or movies or any of these other things, simply because it makes people think that there's more out there that's offended than what there probably actually is. A few people on Twitter can cancel a movie. A handful of people can cancel a movie simply by calling it something, or cancel a star or whatever. A handful of people can do that. They don't need evidence based on anything. They can just say it and put it out there, and it goes. So yeah, I mean, I feel like too much in the media, and things like Netflix and Disney Plus and so forth like that, or even Amazon Prime. When it comes to the boys, I kind of feel like sometimes they give in to the media too much, and they think that Twitter is a majority of people, and it's just not. It's just not. Most people just want to watch the Dave Chappelle special and laugh. That's it. That's all I want to do. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Do you think this is a big deal with Dave Chappelle? You think it's just the media blowing up, controversy again for absolutely no reason? Anyways, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take